welcome back to Strider MMA, and today we're gonna cover some news. A lot of spicy stuff going on right now and a lot to cover, so stick with me here. First things first, the fight between Reinier de Ridder and Anthony Hernandez isn't going to happen. Basically what happened was Anthony Hernandez is currently injured, so he cannot compete anymore and will be replaced by Brendan Allen, which I am kind of down about because I've been waiting for these two to fight each other to see who will get the shot against Khamzat Chimaev. If it's not Imavov, then the winner of that fight should get the title shot, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, yeah, that's very unfortunate. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez has released a statement on his Instagram after having to pull out of the UFC Vancouver main event versus Reinier de Ridder. As you've all probably seen, unfortunately I've had to pull out of my upcoming fight due to injury. I want to sincerely apologize to the UFC and to my opponent and to everyone who was looking forward for this matchup. I also want to thank Brandon Allen for stepping up. It means a lot to all my fans. Thank you for always tuning in, supporting me, and riding with me through everything. Right now, my focus is on getting healthy so I can come back stronger than ever. When I return, I'll be ready to make a statement. So yes, he has been replaced by Brendan Allen. Now, this isn't really much of a fight that I'm looking forward to, but hey, it is what it is. People get injured, shit happens. In other news, Conor McGregor is no longer running for president of Ireland. Surprisingly, it's like, what the fuck? I made a video on that shit that he's committing into running for president of Ireland, but now he's pulling out of the race. Who would have fucking thought? Conor McGregor has announced that he's no longer running for president of Ireland. Following careful reflection and after consulting with my family and withdrawing my candidacy, I am withdrawing my candidacy from this presidential race. This was not an easy decision, but it is right. It is the right one at this moment in time. Somebody mentioned if Charlie Kirk's death had anything to do with it, whether it made him paranoid or not. But I doubt it. I think he finally either A, came to his senses, B, stopped the coke, or C, spoke to people that knew what was going on for real, and knew that this guy wasn't going to win for real, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Conor's no longer running for president. Thank Lord the heavens. UFC Noche passed this weekend, and Diego Lopez knocked out John Silva. However, the thing about it is, while this happened, John Silva decided to punch Diego back in the head. I believe I have the clip right here. Oh my god, bro, look at this shit. Talk about sore loser. You know, it was crazy. I actually used to be I was very much a fan of John Silva, you know, due to his, you know, aggressiveness, his hypeness, and just being a overall autistic, cool guy. You know, a lot of these fighters with autism are super cool and funny and awesome. But now, like, doing that goofy ass shit, punching him in the back of the head after losing, yeah, you're a bitch for that. That's some pussy shit, bro. Why would you? No. Nah, bro. I'm sorry, but after that, I'm gonna have to say it. Fighting nerds are cooked. They're done. It's over. It's wraps. The fuck you punching his head for? You lost fair and square. You went crazy and whatnot. Diego was fighting very cautiously the entirety of the fight. He is eating a lot of shots. I will give him that. He probably should have had a better game plan in the sense that, you know, you shouldn't be eating that many shots, but he still beat his ass. And yeah, you should honestly, like, Diego is a G. Fucking beat that ass, and I'm sorry, man. The fighting nerds are cooked. They are cooked. Speaking of Diego Lopez, there's been a lot of discourse on who gets the title shot in the featherweight division. Now, Aljo is calling for his shot, while Lerone Murphy is calling for his shot. Now, let me bring up the tweet real quick. He has 2 tweets actually. How is Aljo's name even in the mix? I'm confused. Bro's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. He was a good bantamweight, but an average featherweight. Only one name makes sense, and that's Lerone Murphy. He also says Diego done amazing against Silva, but not much changes in a rematch against Volk. The time people want to see a new matchup. New matchups. I'm 17-0 for a reason. It is my time. And I believe Diego also mentioned that Lerone Murphy should fight for the title next.
In the last fight, I think he deserved the title shot. But I feel bad for Movsa, bro. I feel bad for Movsa because this guy is then defending UFC, but I'm not happy. I don't know for why this guy pulled out your last fight.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with Mozart, honestly. This guy is like a certified pull-out merchant. He thinks he deserves a title shot for being this inactive, bro. It's like the same shit with Shavkat. Even though it may not be your quote-unquote fault, you still shouldn't be entitled for a title shot if you're fucking inactive. The division needs to keep moving. We ain't about to hold up a whole division just because your ass is inactive. So I'm sorry, Mozart. As for Aljamain Sterling, whether or not he deserves a title shot over fucking Lerone Murphy that got that crazy KO over Aaron Pico, I think it was last month or a month before that. It's kind of nuts. Aljo says, you beat a Bellator guy, Brody. Ran circles from Emmett and have 2 finishes your whole UFC career. I am a 3-time defending former champ, beat a 2-time title challenger, and almost 3 times the UFC wins than you. Brother, I am next. My name makes perfect sense and I can show you a miracle. And then Lerone Murphy responded saying, Pico would beat you though. I'm 100% and you know it. And I've had 3 finishes in the UFC. Bro, I am not discrediting your resume at bantamweight, but you won't touch gold at featherweight. I'm sorry, but I'm with Lerone here. The fuck you think you deserve a title shot after beating Brian Ortega? I mean, to be fair, that was the case for Diego, but Diego had a lot of hype behind his name. And the thing about 145 right now is that there are multiple contenders for the belt that sort of seem themselves deemed worthy. We got Mozart, we got fucking Lerone, we got fucking Diego now, because Diego is still in title contention, believe it or not, after beating John Silva. But then there's also Yair. I think Diego and Yair should fight it out for number one contender shot, number one contender fight. My bad. But the fact that Aljo thinks he should get a title shot just because of his experience at bantamweight is fucking stupid, bro. This is a completely different division, and most of the UFC fan base don't like you as well because you're a bit of a dickhead. Overall, you complain a lot. You're somewhat of a bitch, right? I respect what he did in bantamweight, but motherfucker, actually no, I'm not gonna say I completely respect what he did in bantamweight because he literally won the belt by acting. Literally. But anywho, Lerone Murphy's up next, and I think Aljo should fight if he really wants to fight. If he really wants to get a title shot, his next fight should be somebody. Let's look at the 145 division real quick. Maybe. All right, let's do a little bit of matchmaking in the 145. Lerone Murphy gets title shot, okay? Mosfar versus, actually no, Diego. Where's Diego on it? Diego versus Yair, okay? And then Aljo versus Mosfar 2. As much as that's not really much of a fresh matchup per se, I still think Aljo still has yet to prove himself as a top contender in the division. Okay, you beat Brian Ortega, which is top 10, but bro, it wasn't even a 145 for one. That shit was not. Shit was a catch weight at 153, and you think, oh, that was an elite win? Bro was fucking washed as fuck. Like you should have seen what he looked like on fight day, bro. You think that was an elite win? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here. I think Aljo really severely overestimates himself, and you know, think he's really not all that. He never was. You might have got a bunch of how many defenses did he have in bantamweight? I don't know. But point is, Aljo, your time's up. Niggas beat a Bellator bum in his pro US. Aaron Pico's not a fucking bum though. He's not. I think a lot of just because he lost his debut don't mean he's a bum. He's a beast, bro. Look at his record. If Aljo's in the combo, then if Aljo isn't in the combo, but neither is Lopez. But either way, fuck it. It's Volk versus Murphy, Lopez versus Aljo. Actually, Lopez versus Aljo is not a bad matchup, but I'd still rather see Lopez fight Yair, because Yair, that beef that they got between each other, I need to see the grudge match. Most far replied to this foolery, all this going on, saying, hey man, you're probably not gonna get the title shot, and me and you will end up fighting. I'm looking forward to it, but if you do end up getting the title shot, then good luck. So Lerone versus Mosfar for the #1 title contender, that's not a bad fight. I'm not gonna lie, that is not a bad fight, but I still think Lerone is most likely gonna get the title fight. I think it's because of the way he beat Aaron Pico. He made a fucking statement. It shit, I don't know, bro. He deserves that shit for real, in my personal opinion. But yeah, that whole discourse going on right now. We just found some more sauce with the whole Aljo thinking he's something in 145. He has this video calling out Diego. Let's see.
I'm a fan of Diego Lopez. I think he's a good fighter. He's tough. He has a chin. He's very durable. I think he's a very talented dude. He's well-rounded on the ground. I just don't think he's the full package yet. Can he become champ at some point in this run? I think so, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. So I'm not shitting on him by any means. I just think I'm better at the end of the day. I'm not going to say I got a granite chin. I'm not going to say I'm the most durable guy, but I know I'm tough. I know I'm smart. And when it comes to fight IQ, you give me time to prepare, I think I'm a terrible matchup for anybody in this division. So that's my 2 cents on that. Would Diego fight be tough? Of course, but I think if I take him down, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have my way with him.
Look, I get it. It's important to have confidence and as a fighter, but I just think that can't be too delusional, if you know what I mean. Look, I don't think Aljo's a shit fighter. He has skill, but to say that you're gonna have your way with him if you take him to the ground is almost laughable. You might think that because he doesn't really show ground game like that, but trust me, I believe this guy has some BJJ, considering he is literally from Brazil. Let's see. He's literally Brazilian, bro. And he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Come on now. Come on, Aljo. Please be for real. At this point, if you're Brazilian and don't have a black belt in BJJ and you're an MMA fighter, what the fuck are you doing? All right, but that's everything for you guys. That's all the news for today as of the 15th of September, and shit, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera too much because I'm looking at the screen, seeing if there's any more news to report. But yeah, that's everything. Thank y'all so much for watching. See y'all in the next one.